he's a Hall of Famer, and he's making his weekly appearance, as he does here on the Rich Eisen Show during this basketball season. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Webber is back.
Hey,
what's up, C-Web? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
You as well.
How good is Cade Cunningham, man? How good is he?
Man, he's special. He's special for a few reasons. One, because he does it without all the flair and maybe all the pomp and circumstance that, deservedly comes with the team that didn't win last year and now is at top of the NBA. Also, he gets everybody involved. And is he a point guard? Is he a forward? Is he a small forward? I don't know, but I know he can do it on both ends of the floor. I know his teammates love playing with him. And I remember in the beginning of the season watching him have a game where he didn't have many points, but he had 14 assists. And I was talking to him after the game, and I was like, that's what winners do. And he embraces winning. He has such a high IQ and a heavy level of intensity that you might not be able to notice, but it's definitely there with him. So, if it's either him, Jaylen Brown, or SGA for MVP, in my opinion. I mean, look at what he's done. So I could talk about him all day.
Yeah, I mean, Jaylen Brown had a triple-double last night, and he's got a Celtics team just 5.5 behind Cunningham's Pistons right now. Jokic is having a terrific season as well, Chris. So, I mean, I couldn't believe this fact that the highest a Piston has ever finished in the MVP voting was 97 when Grant Hill finished behind Jordan and Karl Malone. That's the highest a Pistons ever finished in MVP voting. But he could be the first.
Well, that's one thing about the Pistons that has been consistent, whether it's been great players like Isaiah or even when you had the Pistons that had all 5 starters, when you talk about Tayshaun Prince, Sheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, and the 2 guards and Rip and Chauncey. It's always been a team philosophy there, and it embodies the city. It takes on and embraces the hard hat of the city. So a lot of times you don't want the guys that are front runners. You want the guys that are team guys. And so I'm excited for Cade in this, but I know that that's not his number one goal. You could tell by how he played to just win in the All-Star game and not try to score 1 million points. So I really love what they've done. I've loved what what Bernie's son has done. I played for Bernie, and so I definitely got to watch this great coach grow up, and to become the man that he is from afar. And so I love what they've done. But you also really have to look at management and ownership. They fired a coach when he was the highest paid coach in the league. When you have that type of self-introspection, when you look and you say, wait a minute, what do I need to do to get better? And you're going to be a laughing stock. You're going to have people be able to poke holes at you, but you're taking on accountability so you can win in the future. Those are the type of things I love looking at and seeing, how, wow, they kept their vision, they kept blinders on, and look at where they are this year. So I think everyone from the top executives to the head coach to the assistant coaches and definitely Cade and his teammates needs credit for this year.
You were a Bad Boys fan growing up, weren't you, Chris?
Oh, 100%, baby.
Yeah, I know.
You know it. What are you talking about? Down to people like Chuck Nevitt. I almost cried when we traded Kelly Tripucka and other people like that. So don't do that, man. That's my team. That's my quarterback.
I know, right? That's my quarterback. Man, because you know where I'm from. Yeah, I'm from New York City. I'm a Knicks fan from birth, right? And I show up on campus in Ann Arbor, 1986, and that's when the Bad Boys started coming on, and everybody in the dorms got Rick Mahorn posters on the wall, and Lambeer, who I despised to this day.
He's the man.
Well, I mean, I have a different point of view, but those teams were just brass knuckles. Chuck Daly dressed, like he's in The Sopranos.
Oh, you already know it. That's right.
You know what I mean? And just coming for you. I remember those teams.
Yeah, man. And guess what? As mean as they seemed on the court, they were nice off the court. I got a chance in high school to interact with a lot of those guys. Rick Mahorn actually brought Charles Barkley by my high school to meet me because he knew that Barkley was one of my favorite players. Like, come on, man. He's in town for a week and, for a game tomorrow, and you take your time to do that. Or Isaiah and how he came to my house and talked to me about recruiting, talked to me about life after basketball, life during basketball. Joe Dumars, when you have those type of relationships, and people. It goes far beyond the community. And I think a lot of players understand that, but I hope all players understand that it's not just how well you play, but the community really embraces, kind of the best parts of you. And so, yeah, growing up as a Pistons fan, it was always the best. I was able to have a really wonderful relationship with Chuck Daly and the rest of the Pistons as well. So I'll always be a Bad Boys fan.
Wait a minute. Charles Barkley was brought to your high school by Rick Mahorn. And what was that?
Yeah,
what
it's
happened?
I got to be a little selfish plug. I talk about it in the book, but the picture is online, and it's a picture we always joke about, where Charles Barkley is wearing these wrestler pants, these like Hulk Hogan pants, and so I'm sitting there in the gym, and I used to work out. I just come back from the McDonald's All-American game, and Rick Mahorn supported my AAU team. Shout out to Curtis Hervey, our coach. But he supported our AAU team. And so we came back and we had done well at the McDonald's game. And I'm in the weight room working out. And I had this, I was a rah-rah guy. So back then, when I would do curls and other things, I would say Barkley's name, Malone's name. I'm in high school. There was no social media. I had to entertain myself.
Sure.
So, my friends are kind of froze in this pose. And I'm like, what's wrong? And I look behind me, and this is my favorite player ever. And he came over, and he was so kind, man. And, Rick Mahorn just, Rick is, anybody who knows him knows he's one of the best guys. And he goes, hey, Chris, here's that sorry son of a gun that you wanted to meet, and I'm like, what? And I go over, I shake his hand, Mr. Barkley. He's like, no, call me Chuck. And, for as nice as he was, he had encouraging words for me as far as my workout regimen. He was very kind. I just remember how kind he was. But then at the end, I remember just taking mental pictures of him, looking at his feet, looking at his knees, his hands, how tall he was. And I just remember thinking, and every time people would ask, what was he like? I was like, he's nice, but I can't believe he dominates the NBA like that, because he was shorter than me. I was 6'9" in high school. Charles Barkley is 6'6" maybe. Mm-hmm. And so I really had to understand, wow, this is a whole different level because of his athletic ability, his heart, his smarts. I mean, he's not just a nice guy walking around. He's a killer on the court. And that's the one thing that always stuck with me, how his size and his height, but then how he dominated a league of men taller than him. But it was real cool that Rick Mahorn did that, and I'm forever grateful to my man, Rick.
Hall of Famer Chris Webber here on the Rich Eisen Show. We're going to go down memory lane on the college front shortly. But sure. How much concern should Knicks fans have watching the Pistons come into their house and spank them? Now 3 times in the span of about a month, right? And you've got the Celtics outperforming any expectations potentially with Tatum coming back. You got Harden there in Cleveland. What's your level of concern for the Knicks right now, Chris?
Well, I really had a high expectation for the Knicks when they brought on their coach, because when Thibodeau left, I thought that he had done such a great job, but I thought maybe his voice was maybe not resounding as loud as it needed to in the locker room, and I had no proof of that. Right. It's just that knowing basketball, after 4, 5, 6 years, if a team doesn't reach a certain level, do they turn you off? And so I had high expectations just because of change of energy. But when you lose such a tough personality like that in the locker room in Thibodeau, it seems like they've lost kind of that toughness on the court, because before they would lose games, but it didn't seem like they would give them up in the ways that they are, not getting back on defense, other things that we've seen. But the Pistons are good, and so if I were a Knicks fan, I wouldn't blame, or I wouldn't look at the season through the scope of the Pistons. I would look at it from how well we're playing. Are we getting better? Is Cat getting back in the offense, getting more shots so he's happy? Are we moving the ball? Because they needed to play with faster pace, but they need to play with that defensive intensity of last year.
Chris Webber here on the Rich Eisen Show. And the best team in the West, you still expect the Oklahoma City Thunder at the end of the day, right now, Chris?
I love the Oklahoma City Thunder, but for some reason I'm a big fan of Houston, man. I love Denver. Jokic is one of my favorite players. Mm-hmm. But that consistency just hasn't been there, and he could have 5 MVPs if we're really honest about it.
Yes,
he could have 5 MVPs. He's that good and could win MVP again this year if he makes the numbers. But I really believe this year that there's going to be a little movement in the playoffs. It's not going to be just by seedings we're going to see teams get out. I believe that there's some really good coaches out there, one in Houston as well, that is figuring out the weaknesses and strength of their team and is managing their team's win and losses right now. But come playoffs, we may see a different identity in some of the teams as they're starting to integrate those styles in. At least that's what I'm hoping to see from, a team like that. And just think about Golden State. Would you want to play them at all in the first round? I just wouldn't, and so there's teams like that if Golden State could stay 7 or 8, who knows what they could do. But before the year started, I picked the San Antonio Spurs to win it. I know it was a long shot at that time, or I don't know what the shot was at the time, but the reason why I did it was because of a man named Fox. Fox, if you look at the championship teams that Coach Popovich constructed, there was always a fast point guard that scored inside the paint. And when you look at Tony Parker, what he did with the big fella Tim Duncan, you weren't only scared as a defender of getting back to Tim Duncan as a pick and roll, but you had Parker with one of the best jump hooks the game has ever seen in there, and that put so much pressure because now you can shoot it back out to Ginobili, get it to your shooters, that type of thing. I believe that with Fox and Wemby and with all the players that they have, I believe that they can come out the West. And I said it before the season started, and I'm going to stick with that just because of the speed they have, the way that they play together, the defensive prowess, but really because of that pick and roll between those two that's really going to change the game come playoff style, and they can knock down free throws.
Chris Webber, are you ready for your loss to Duke to be avenged in the biggest way possible on Saturday?
Oh, man, I can't. Oh, wait, is it a game? Yeah, you already know what's going on. So, yeah, I can't wait to check out the game. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Michigan right now, we're playing great. I mean, we just went into Purdue. You saw what we did with them. You saw what we did with other teams. And I just like how they play for each other. I think they play the right way, and everyone trusts each other. And when you trust each other, you don't play as anxious. You know the ball is going to come back around to you. You don't have to take bad shots, and the culture really is the strategy. And I think they have the culture there in Michigan. So I'm excited. Now, Duke they're a tough team. When you look at Boozer, and when you look at his consistency, how he's dominated inside, the shooting of their guards. But definitely, I think that our size and our togetherness is going to be too much for them.
Chris, I got to be honest with you. 25-1 is not even something that you and the rest of the Fab Five were started a season off. What Dusty May has done, that this team has the ability to beat you in transition if they need, half court if they need, off the glass if they need, 3-point shooting if they need, off the bench. I've never seen a team quite as deep and as capable and flexible as this one. And when I think about it, I get so excited. I just want the tournament to start now. You know what I mean? Like, I just want it to happen. And then just to see him against Duke tomorrow, I'm going to be out of my skull. And have you seen, I don't know if you've been on socials or not, the number of times I see, the video of you guys getting introduced in the Natty game, and Leitner coming out there and me just, cursing underneath my breath. What was going through your mind in that moment, Chris, back then?
Man, we played them twice that really mattered, 3 times overall.
Yep.
And so the first time we played them, I think was like December 18th or 28th. It was something like that. But it was the first time we really brought out our new uniforms. We had been recruited as these highly recruited guys, but we didn't get a chance to prove it yet on a national stage. So this was our first test. And I remember, just being in Michigan, the student section was moved down at that time, and it was an exciting feeling there. And then, having Jim Nance call the game, it was exciting. All I was thinking was, our parents are watching, the neighborhood is watching, our friends are watching. Let's make them proud. And who are they to be scared of? Who are they to be equal to? That was kind of, our thing there is that, they had won a championship the year before. They had one of the greatest players ever in Christian Laettner there. Grant Hill was a close friend of mine, and I thought about going to Duke, and so I knew their history. And Bobby Hurley was a friend of mine. So my thing was, who cares about them? I'm with my family now. We have to win this game. Let's get it. And, we did our best that day in Ann Arbor, but just didn't come up with it when we played the veterans. But anytime you played Duke, you wanted to attack, and we made sure that we let them know we were there. We just came out on the short end of the stick, and that's why tomorrow's going to be fun to watch. Is every win over them I take is vengeance from us, whether it's in lacrosse or basketball.
I love it.
It goes to that.
I feel it. I'm the same way. C-Web. I'm the same way, and I really can't wait. It's fun to watch them do what they're doing. Great to see you. You enjoy the rest of the week. We'll chat again real soon.
And great seeing you too.
Right back at you. The Hall of Famer Chris Webber, as always, right here on the Rich Eisen Show, talking hoops. I cannot wait. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.